Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nate Denise. For those of you who are new to the channel or who just happened to stumble across this video, and today's video is going to be my December book haul. So as I'm recording this video, it is currently December 26th, the day after Christmas. So merry belated Christmas to anyone who's watching this. Happy belated holidays to anybody who's watching this. Whenever you're watching this, you're probably not going to see this. Maybe you'll see it before New Year's, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I do still have books coming in the mail. I'm just going to include those in my January book haul because I have way too many books here. I have 2 stacks of review books that were sent to me, and then I have 3 stacks of books that I personally purchased myself. So we're going to get that out the way. I do have on my little Christmas headband. You're probably going to see this in maybe 2 or 3 more videos. I am in love with it. I love it so much. And I do have, like, my face is breaking out. And I'm really like particular about my face, so there's a breakout here, there's a breakout here, I got a breakout somewhere on my, like, right here. It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with my face, so we're gonna work that out. But we're gonna start off with all of the review books that I was sent in ARCS. The first book, however, I did receive in one of my Jean Book Nerd Storytellers book boxes. It was the holiday edition, so if you haven't seen that, just click the eye on the screen to go to that video. But that book is going to be Reawakened by Colleen, Houck, and this is a YA fantasy that is based off of Egyptian mythology. It has to do with mythical creatures, ancient gods, and things like that. Prophecy. So on the inside it says, when 17-year-old Liliana Young enters the Metropolitan Museum of Art one morning during spring break, the last thing she expects to find is a live Egyptian prince with godlike powers who has been reawakened after 1,000 years of mummification. And she really can't imagine being chosen to aid him in a quest that will lead them across the globe. But fate has taken hold of Lily, and she, along with her son Prince Amon, must travel to the Valley of Kings, raise his brothers from the dead, and stop an evil shape-shifting god named Seth from taking over the world, all before the next full moon. From New York Times bestselling author Colleen Houck comes an epic adventure about 2 star-crossed teens who must battle mythical forces and ancient curses on a journey with more twists and turns than the Nile itself. And it sounds like it's going to be fun. I'm a New Yorker at heart, so, you know, I'm excited for all this. And I love watching The Mummy, the entire, like, the whole franchise, The Mummy. So I'm really excited to dive into this book. Okay, so now going into my ARC copies, and then we'll get into finished copies that were sent to me. So the first 4 I'm going to show you I have already read because I had to read them for reviews. So we have The Monster Hypothesis by Romley Bernard, and this is going to be middle grade sci-fi with a little bit of, like, paranormal aspects to it. I enjoyed this. If I'm not mistaken, I gave this a 4 or 5. I can't really remember. It'll be on the screen, but this was really fun and cute and adorable. My review will be written down. My review link will be down below, so just click the review link down below to go and read what I wrote. But I enjoyed this. I found the main character. What was her name again? She had a weird name, Kick. She called herself Kick. She was very intelligent, very witty, very sarcastic. I enjoyed the friends that she made. I enjoyed her grandmother a lot. Her grandmother was, like, hilarious. Her parents were scientists. I can't remember exactly what her parents did, but everything about this story just made me laugh. And the town that she was in was called Boring, so I thought that was funny. But I really did enjoy this, and this is an ARC copy. It did come out on, it came out December 2019, so I can't remember the exact date. It'll be on the screen, the date that it came out, but you can purchase this and get it now. But I thought it was cute and funny, and I definitely want to get a finished copy to have for my collection. The next book I have here is Echoes Between Us by Katie McGarry. Oh my god, this is YA contemporary, with a little bit of, like, paranormal aspects to it. Oh my god, I adored this so much. I gave it 5 stars. This book is amazing. Now, Katie McGarry is not an author I'm new to. I've known about her for a while from her Pushing the Limit series, I think is what it's called. And then I also received a finished copy of one of her other contemporary novels before. I think it was, oh my god, I can't remember the name. The title will be on the screen of that book, but I enjoyed that one. So I was excited to get an ARC of this, and I so loved it. So this follows Veronica and Sawyer, and they both have sort of problems that they're dealing with. Veronica is dealing with her having a benign tumor, and this tumor is causing her to have migraines, which puts her in a position to now see ghosts. And she's haunted by her mother's ghost as well, and it is epic. Sawyer is dealing with adrenaline rushes. He's like an adrenaline junkie, excuse me, And it's just their romance, and it's so stinking cute, and I love them together, and I thought they were just the most adorable couple together. It was heartbreaking, it was funny, it was everything and more. I loved it. I will say, there's a guy in here named Leo, I think his name was. Leo. He pissed me off. Oh my god. I hated Leo because he allowed the tumor to stop him from really being with Veronica, even though he actually liked Veronica. But I like that Sawyer didn't allow that to stop him, even when he found out how serious it was for her. It was amazing, and the family dynamics in the story was really heartbreaking, and it just felt so real and relatable. Like, I could really picture this being a real life relationship, you know? So I truly enjoyed it, gave it 5 stars. My review is down below. The next book I have is Beyond the Shadowed Earth by Joanna Ruth Meyer. This is a YA fantasy, and I ended up giving this one a 3.75 star rating. It was good, but I just felt disconnected to the characters. It follows a young girl named Etta. I think her name is Etta. Yeah, Etta. And she's like the empress of where she lives. But there's a lot of political intrigue and drama. And there's a prince and a princess that comes. And she marries the prince, falls in love with the prince. But the prince really hates her. And it deals with some gods that are like locked away. It was a little confusing to me, so I gave it a 3.75 star rating, but I did enjoy it nonetheless. I'll read the back of it for you guys because it's really a good premise. I just found it confusing, so I'm definitely going to give it another go. But it says, Etta is determined to become empress no matter the cost. 9 years after Etta made a pact with the god of the mountain to rule half the world, her hold on her empire begins to crumble. Betrayed and desperate, Etta embarks on a harrowing journey to confront the god and take back her power. However, he is trapped at the center of an otherworldly labyrinth, and Etta must fight her way through the circles of death, time, and sorrow to reach him. When she enters his realm, she discovers she's bargained away more than she ever could have imagined, and now it's time to pay. I did enjoy it again, like I said. I thought the whole idea of the different gods and goddesses and the main god in this book was like, he was trapped in his labyrinth, but he had his shadow, which was like the evil version of him, come out to get Etta, and they sort of betrayed Etta in a sense, only to get Etta on line to her goal and her purpose. It sounds confusing, but I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. All I can tell you guys to do is to read my review because I definitely enjoyed it. I just found that the world was just a tad bit confusing, which is why I couldn't give it a full 4 stars, but I did enjoy it and definitely do want to read more from this author. The next one I have is an adult biblical fiction, and that is going to be Isaiah's Legacy by Misu Andrews. This is book 3 in her Prophets and Kings series, but it's also the sequel to her book Isaiah's Daughter. I gave this 5 stars. I love this freaking book so much. It is adorable. It is amazing. I read the e-arc before I got my physical arc in the mail, so that's why it's not tabbed up. Normally I tab my books up, but this was epic. Basically, it follows young King Manasseh when he is a young boy, and it just goes through his ups and downs from the Bible, and I really enjoyed it. I thought King Manasseh was a very interesting character, and I loved the girl that he was with, which her name is, oh gosh, what is her name? Shule. Her real name is like Methashula or something like that, but they call her Shule for short. And just the dynamics of the characters and getting to see some of the characters from the first book, like Hezekiah and Hephzibah and Isaiah, was so amazing. And then seeing some of the new prophets that were going to come about was just really informative and really amazing. It is a little bit dark for biblical fiction, Christian biblical fiction. It is very dark, but again, the Bible is very dark itself. The Bible is all about truth, love, and light, but the things that took place back in those times, the abuse that they were going through, the genocide pretty much that they were going through, it was very tough. So this book really just wowed the mess out of me. 5 stars, just 5 stars all the way. My review will be linked down below. The next 4 books are going to be from Shadow Mountain Publications, and I have worked with them plenty of times. I absolutely loved pretty much every book that I've ever gotten from them so far. So I have this one here, which is called Promise by Leah Garriott. I think that's how you say that name, and it is a proper romance or a historical romance. Don't know much about this. Don't even know what time this is set in, but it's a Regency romance, and let's see if I can get a time frame on this. 1812. So it takes place in Warwickshire, I think that's how you say that name, England, in 1812, and on the back it says, Margaret Brenton keeps her promises, and the one she is most determined to keep is the promise to protect her heart. Deceived by love once before, Margaret vows never to be played the fool again. To keep her vow, she attends a notorious matchmaking party intent on securing the perfect marital match, a union of convenience to someone who could never affect her heart. She discovers a man who exceeds all her hopes in the handsome and obliging rake Mr. Northam. I think that's how you say that. There's only one problem. His meddling cousin, Lord Williams, won't leave Margaret alone. Condescending and high-handed, Lord Williams lectures and insults her. He single-handedly ruins Margaret's chances for making a good match to his cousin or anyone else. With no reason to remain at the party, Margaret returns home to discover her father has promised her hand in marriage to Lord Williams. Ooh, that sounds gritty. Under no condition will Margaret consent to marrying such a man. Yet, as Lord William inserts himself into her everyday life, Margaret is forced to realize that he is exactly the type of man she'd once hoped to marry. Margaret is faced with her ultimate choice: keep the promises that protect her heart or break free of them for one more chance at love. Either way, she fears her heart will lose. So, it sounds like it's going to be cute. I'm not really a huge major fan of historical romances, but I'm trying to get into more historical Regency romances, so I figured I would give this one a go, and I think the cover is really cute and simple. I think it's really nice. And this book comes out February 2020, so definitely got to read this ASAP. The next book I have from Shadow Mountain Publication is called Willa The Whale by Chad Morris and Shelley Brown. This is going to be YA contemporary with, I think, a little bit of magical realism inside of it. I think this is middle grade YA or in between because the main character is 12 years old. But I know that this deals with grief and keeping journals and things like that. So I'm going to read the back because I can't really tell you guys off the back. I feel like I have to read the synopsis. So it says, after her mother dies, 12-year-old Willa turns to an unlikely source of comfort, a humpback whale. Even a year after losing her mom, Willa is still grieving and having a hard time living with her dad and his new family on an island off the coast of Washington State. Her dad tries to cheer her up by taking her whale watching, something Willa's mom used to do. While all the passengers are on one side of the boat, Willa encounters a humpback whale on the opposite side and thinks she hears the whale talking to her. At a time when Willa feels like she has nobody, the whale, who calls herself Meg, becomes a trusted friend and confidant. Meg offers sound advice Willa needs about dealing with a nemesis at school and trying to figure out why her best friend, Mark, is keeping secrets about his family life. But can whales really talk to humans? Before the story ends, it will take all of Willa's courage and connections to tackle a problem that's as big as a blue whale. Willa The Whale is a poignant story about caring and loss and the deep connections that make us human. Most importantly, it is a story that teaches that we can let go of things we hold dear without really losing them. So that sounds like it's going to be epic. I think in here the actual character has like journal entries. Yeah, like you get to see little journal entries from her. So I'm excited to dive into this. This book also comes out March 2020. The next book from Shadow Mountain Press is from Spencer Hyde, and it's called What the Other Three Don't Know. He is the author of Waiting for Fits, which I have read, and I adored that book. I don't know where I can't find it right now on my shelf, but I adored that book, loved it so much. I even colored, not colored, but I did dye sprayed edges on that book. It was so pretty. But this one is YA contemporary that deals with some hard-hitting situations as well. But it says, will I still be loved if I show people who I really am? 4 high school seniors, 4 secrets about to be told. If Indy had it her way, she would never choose to river raft with 3 other high school seniors from her journalism class. A loner, a jock, an outsider, an Instagram influencer. At first, they are strangers who can't see anything they have in common. As the trip unfolds, the unpredictable river forces them to rely on each other. Social masks start to fall as one by one each team reveals a deep secret that the other 3 don't know. One is harboring immense grief and is unwilling to forgive after the death of a loved one. One is dealing with a new disability in an uncertain future. One is fearful of the repercussions of coming out. One is hiding behind a carefully curated perfect image on Instagram. Before they get to the ends of Hell's Canyon, they'll know the truth about each other and, more importantly, learn something new about themselves. What the Other Three Don't Know is a poignant and gripping YA novel about the unlikely friends who accept you for who you really are, and the power of self-acceptance. So it sounds epic, and I can't wait to just dive into this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to cry a bit, but I'm super stoked for this book. The last one I got from Shadow Mountain Press is called Wizard for Hire, Magic Required by Obert, Skye, and this is book 3 in the Wizard for Hire series. And oh my god, I freaking love this series so much. You guys do not understand. This is a middle grade series that I was introduced from the publishing company. They reached out to me, and I decided to review the first book, and I freaking adored it so much. The first one is called Wizard for Hire. There it is. This is a gorgeous, just blue cover. I loved it. I did do dye sprayed edges and did them in red on this book. It's so cute. And the hardcover itself is going to be blue, so I just thought that was epic. It really just brings out the red on the cover. And the sequel is Apprentice Needed. Here is that. I haven't done the edges on this one yet, but they're most likely going to be gold, just to bring out the gold in that. So we have this, and I am just so excited for this. So this follows basically Ozzy and Siggy, who I don't even know how to explain, and I don't want to read the back of this because it spoils like the other two books. So basically the overall synopsis I'll read from the first book for you guys. So this is book 1, like I said, Wizard for Hire, and it says, what if there was a wizard in your hometown who offered his services to anyone in need? What if you were scared because your scientist parents had been kidnapped and you couldn't tell the police? What if you stumbled across a classified ad in your local newspaper that read, Wizard for Hire, call 555, spell, would you call? 14-year-old Ozzy is desperate to find his parents, but he's not sure about the ad. He's read about the wizards in books like Harry Potter, but they couldn't really actually exist in the world today, could they? Enter Labyrinth, aka Rent, who dresses the part, sort of. His bathrobe and high-top tennis shoes seem unorthodox. At least Rent acts like a wizard, but Ozzy has his doubts. Do real wizards write notes on their shoes and eat breakfast for every meal? Most of all, Ozzy just wants to know if Ren can cast any magic spells. With the help of a robotic talking raven, which I love that bird, invented by Ozzy's father, a kind and curious girl at school who decides to help Ozzy, and of course a self-proclaimed wizard who may or may not have a magical wand, Ozzy begins an unforgettable quest that will lead him closer to the answers he seeks about his parents. So that's what the first one is about. And basically this is going to pick up after the events of the sequel, and I'm just like, I can't wait. I love Ozzy. He is such a smart little boy, living on his own since he was 14, I believe. Or actually, no, it was before then. I think that his parents got kidnapped when he was like 8 or something like that. He's been on his own for a while. So he's very intelligent, very smart, can really survive on his own. Siggy is related to one of the other characters, which I don't want to really spoil, but Mr. Wren, the wizard Wren, is comical. And the thing about it is you don't know if he's a real wizard or not because he's such a crazy old man that you think he's crazy old man, but then certain things happen where you're like, well, does he have magical abilities? And then you have this thinking bird. Oh my god, this bird here. Oh, this bird here. I cannot remember this bird's name for the life of me. Let me see if I can find it on the other book because he cracks me up so much. What is this bird's name? Clark is a mechanical bird that his father made, and Clark is just hilarious. Like, I love it. So I'm excited to really just dive back into this book, and I might actually binge read the first 2 books over and then read this, excuse me, because I don't really remember exactly how the sequel ended, but I also want to reread the first book because I read the first 2 books as ARCs as well, and then I had got the hardcover sent to me, so I'm going to read the ARC of this as well and then get the hardcover. I mostly annotate the ARCs when I'm reading them, but yeah, I'm so excited. You guys don't understand. And there is just new characters that are coming back from the sequel that I want to get to hold and just to see and just, oh my god, this is the final book, you guys. I'm a little sad. I thought this was going to be a little longer, but this is the final book in this trilogy, and it's a middle grade trilogy. Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready, guys. I love it so much. And I love that it's purple. You know, I love that it's purple. So I can't wait for the physical, like, hardcover to come. Gorgeous. But we have this, and this comes out April 2020. So I do have some time to read this book, and I'm just going to love reading this. Like, we're going to read it for sure. We have this. Okay, the next one I have is called The Unwilling by Kelley Braffet. This is what it looks like. This is fantasy. It's young adult, if I'm not mistaken. Young adult fantasy. And, honestly, I didn't expect it to be this big. This is well over 500 pages. It's 500 and... almost 580 pages. 572 pages. I didn't expect this to be a tome. Honestly, I thought it was going to be like a cute little 300-page read. This is massive, but that's okay because I love massive books and massive fantasies. And it says she has no name, no history, but she has a power greater than the Empire has ever known. A penetrating tale of magic, faith, and pride. A young woman with a secret gift, born an orphan, discovers that she does not have to be given power, she can take it. Judah, a foundling, is raised as a sibling to Gavin, heir to Highfall, in the great house inside the wall. It is the seat of power at the center of Lord Elbin's great empire. Judah and Gavin share a mysterious, unnatural bond that is both the key to her survival and her possible undoing. As Gavin prepares to eventually ascend the throne, Judah realizes she has no real position of her own. But Lord Elbin, a man as powerful as he is cruel, has his own plans for her. She is a mere pawn to him, and he will stop at nothing to get what he wants. Outside the wall, in the starving, desperate city, a magus, a healer with a secret power unlike anything Highfall has ever seen in years, is newly arrived from the provinces. He, too, has his plans for the Empire, and at the heart of those plans lies Judah. The girl who started life with no name will soon uncover more to her story than she ever imagined. An epic tale of greed and ambition, cruelty and love, this deeply immersive novel is about bowing to traditions and burning them down. Now that sounds hella epic. This book comes out February 11, 2020. I'm here for it, you guys. Like, I'm here for it. This looks like it's going to be like an epic read. There are definitely going to be maps, because I see that it says the whole page is for maps. So they're going to have maps in the finished copy. About 4. That's interesting. So I'm excited to read this. Again, I requested it because I'm a part of a blog tour company, and they sent the email out about this. About having slots open for the blog tour, and I read the synopsis and it really just gripped me and sounded really epic. But again, I didn't know it was going to be a tome, so we're going to plan to read this before it come out sometime in February. Probably the first week of February I have to tackle this book. So we have this book. Okay, from here we're going to switch over from my ARCS to finished copies. So I did get an ARC and a finished copy of this next book, which I did not expect. I did get this email from the person hosting the blog tour, and they actually sent us finished copies as a thank you. So the ARC that I received is Willa The Whale by Charlie N. Holmberg, and he is the author of Paper Magicians. And I've heard many great things about Paper Magicians. I haven't read it myself yet, but we have that. And this one is fantasy. That's all I really know, so I'm going to read the back of it for you guys. So it says, a spellbinding story of truce and trickery from the Wall Street Journal bestselling author of The Paper Magicians. Anna knows to fear the mistings that roam the wildwood near her home. When one tries to kill her to obtain an enchanted stone, Anna takes a huge risk, fighting back with a misting of her own. Michaelis' help isn't free. His price, a kiss, one with power to steal her soul. But their deal leaves Michaelis bound to the mortal realm, which begins eating him alive. Only Anna's kiss, given willingly, can save him from immediate destruction. It's a temporary salvation for Michaelis and a lingering doom for Anna. Part of her soul now burns bright inside Michaelis, making him feel for the first time. Anna shares Michaelis' suffering, but her small sacrifice won't last long. If she and Michaelis can't break the spell binding him to the mortal realm, Michaelis will be consumed completely in Anna's soul with him. So this comes out January 21st, 2020. So like I said, I received an ARC. If you guys can see, this is an ARC copy, but I also have a finished copy of the book. So I'm excited to read this, and I'll definitely be reading the finished copy. It seems like it's going to be like a cute romantic fantasy. I'm hoping that it deals more with the fantasy aspect over the romance, but I'm also hoping that the romance is in there, because I love me a fantasy romance, of course. But we have these, and I'm excited to read them. So yeah. Okay, the next one is going to be Real Pigeons Fight Crime by Andrew McDonald and Ben Wood. This is an ARC that I received. Actually, I thought this was a finished copy, but this is actually an ARC, so I probably should have included this with the ARCs. But whatever. This book comes out January 7th, and it's just a cute little comic graphic little book, and I just think it's so cute. It's a middle grade read, and what I love is that, like, there are so many cute illustrations. This is for people who are fans of Bad Guys and Dogman. My son does enjoy Dogman. It's basically kind of like Captain Underpants. The author and creator of Captain Underpants wrote Dogman, and my son loves that, so I'm going to read this and then read it with him. But on the back it says, what do real pigeons do? They fight crime, of course. Wait, what? You didn't know your town is protected by a secret squad of crime-fighting feathered friends? Well, you are about to get schooled. Real pigeons solve mysteries. Real pigeons battle bad guys. And real pigeons won't stop until the breadcrumbs are safe for pecking. So this is awesome. There are going to be 3 releases for this. So this first one is in January, and it's called Real Pigeons Fight Crime. Then you have real pigeons eat danger, and then real pigeons nest hard. So I'm excited to read this for myself personally, and then I know my son is going to enjoy it. But just I love the graphics, and what this is giving me is it's giving me Angry Bird vibes. I feel like I'm getting Angry Bird vibes, as well as what is that movie called? Pets. That's what I'm getting. Pets and Angry Birds and a little comic graphic book. So I don't really know if this is comic book graphic, but whatever. It's cute. I'm gonna read it soon. The next book I have for you guys is called The Way of Brave by Susan May Warren. This is the first book in the Global Search and Rescue series. I don't know if it's going to be a series or trilogy, but this is going to be Christian contemporary romance. And what I remember is that it deals with a para-rescuer as well as a former FBI agent or something like that, along a CIA profile, excuse me. And I'm going to read the back because it's a little complicated for me to explain. So yeah, I'm bad at giving blurbs. So on the back of this, it says, haunted by the memory of a rescue gone wrong, former para-rescue jumper Orion Starr has no desire to join Hamilton Jones's elite rescue team, but he also can't shirk his duty when the call comes in to rescue 3 lost climbers on Denali in Alaska. Jenny Calhoun's yearly extreme challenge with her best friends is her only escape from her guilt. The former CIA profiler and psychiatrist green-lighted an operation against the Taliban that ended in ambush and lives lost. When her cathartic climb on Denali turns deadly, she'll be forced to trust her life to the most dangerous of heroes, the man she nearly killed. Orion and Jenny will have to put their wounds behind them to save their friends and their hearts. So it sounds like it's going to be one of those kind of second chance romances, in a sense. Not really a second chance romance, I can't say that because they weren't together, but them re-meeting and maybe firing up some steams. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have high hopes for this, honestly. I'm hoping to at least give it a 3 stars. I'm not, but I got it sent to a review, so I'm going to do that. The next book I have is going to be Collateral Damage by Lynette Eason. This is the first book in Danger Never Sleep series. This is going to be Christian romantic suspense. And again, it deals with the government, so I'm going to read the back synopsis to you guys. They thought they left the fight behind on the battlefield, but their greatest struggles are just beginning. Honorably discharged from the army after an explosion nearly killed her, former military psychiatrist Brooke Adams has set up shop to help others, but her days of helping military personnel are over. She's got her own battles to fight from her time overseas, and she's not equipped to take on more. Former Army Special Ops Sergeant First Class Asher James, I think that's just a lot, but Asher James could handle anything that war sent his way. The only thing that scares him now is sleep, as the shadows close in and the nightmares begin. Finally convinced that he needs help, Asher makes an appointment with a counselor. When he arrives at her office, she isn't there, but a dead body is. When it becomes clear that Brooke was the real target of the attack and that her secrets go even deeper than his own, Asher vows to protect her no matter what. So that sounds like it's going to be a little angsty, a lot of drama, a lot of killing, and a lot of governmental problems. So this actually sounds interesting. I'm hoping to get this to 4 stars. I think this one sounds more interesting than the other book that I just showed you, but this one is going to definitely be read this month. Well, not this month, but in the month of January. Last book I got sent to me for review was actually sent to me from the author, which I totally just thanked her for that. But this one is called Ascendant. The lines of battle are drawn in black and white by Kimberly Gray. And this, I believe, has to do with angels, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to read the back for you guys. So it says, for hundreds of years, war has raged across the realm of guardian angels. White Wing against Black Wing. Grace is a saboteur, daughter of the White Wing spy master, destined to end the war once and for all. But all of that is snatched away when she is captured by the Black Wings. Trapped in their secret city, Grace finds herself questioning everything she's ever been told about her enemies and about herself. So in this book, I believe black is good and white is bad, because you know that's what happens in books sometimes. They kind of switch the reversal roles. But I also did get sent a bookmark to go along with this, so I'm excited to dive into this. I'm here for anything Christian fantasy. I find that I'm enjoying Christian fantasy a lot, more than I thought I would, which again, it never came across my mind to read Christian fantasy, but I'm loving Christian fantasy a lot, so we have that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is end this video here because it's a little long. As I'm recording it, it's about 30 minutes, but I'm going to edit it down and try to make it less than 20 minutes. But I'm going to end part 1 here, which is just going to be all of my review in ARC books, and then part 2 will be all of the books that I purchased for myself. So again, thank you guys for watching, liking, and subscribing. If you are not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and if you are, click the bell to stay notified, and I'll see you guys in part 2.